more on this, I'm joined by Javid Faisal. He's a former Afghan government spokesman. Great to have you on the programme. Javid, why is this happening now? Isn't this a time for peace talks?
Thank you. Let me correct you. I'm currently the spokesperson for the Afghan government. The expectations were that there has to be a reduction in violence. The Taliban had to stop killing the Afghan people. But last week, as we are preparing to head to direct negotiations, they recorded the bloodiest week in the past 19 years. This shows that there has to be concerns for the future, and the Taliban has to do different things, not violence, but peaceful activities to make sure that we could head to the future and start the direct talks. And Afghans could have hope and trust of the Taliban.
And the Taliban, well, they have rejected the figures that were published. The Taliban spokesman in Afghanistan said, we did have some attacks last week, but they were mostly in defense. What do you make of these remarks?
No, we have recorded all their atrocities in Afghanistan, not just in the past week, but all these years. Their attacks were all deliberate attacks. It's not just the Afghan national security forces that have been suffering casualties, but Afghan civilians too. Just in the past week, they killed and wounded 147 Afghan civilians too. Not all those were defensive attacks. Those were deliberate attacks against our army, against our people, and against our institutions.
And where does this leave then peace talks and the prisoner exchange that President Ghani has said he will carry out?
It complicates things up. We are not looking forward to having more violence. The expectations were to have peace, or at least something that could be seen as a reduction in violence. That have not been the case, neither in the past week nor in the past 2 or 3 months. And that has been the expectation since the Doha Agreement. The Taliban did not act up on their agreements with the U.S. and not acted in accordance with the expectations of the Afghan people. This is leaving things in more difficult situation, and that's why we believe it's very important for the Taliban to stop violence and have some positive gestures for the future. And that's much needed to be positive.
And what would you see as positive gestures?
Stop killing Afghans. That's the first thing. They should stop the bloodshed. The people here deserve peace. No more violence. We have had enough of that.
Javid Faisal, current Afghan government spokesman, thank you very much indeed for your time and analysis.